with Miss Amber Red, and welcome to our podcast. Today am going to be talking about, or actually I have a whole bunch of gals here with me today. So the team and I are going to be talking about basically things that happened then, or how we felt then in the past versus how we feel now. So let's start with Brisa. And Brisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Brisa. So I came with Amber at the beginning, so I'm kind of her first apprentice, so I have the honor of that. The honor of being her first apprentice. Honestly, through this whole journey, I've learned so much, and I've experienced so much. So yeah, there's a lot we can talk about.
So then there's me, the second and favorite apprentice. So I came on shortly after Brisa. There was a couple girls. Oh, I'm Tanya, by the way. You guys will know that. But so yeah, I was the second one. There was a few in between that kind of got let go of. I came on to help with the social media creation and as an artist. And after just being there a couple months, I knew I had to get my best friend on board. I don't know doing what, because I know she would not like to tattoo. But I had to find a way to bring her on. And then I brought Sasha, who was our next team member.
Yeah, so I'm Sasha. I'm Amber's studio coordinator, assistant, Kajabi website person. Honestly, anything that Amber needs, we kind of just figure it out together.
She's the brains, you guys.
Yeah, and Tanya brought me onto the team, and yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Brisa, actually, real quick, let's touch base a little bit, because you said that you learned a lot along the way.
There were so many changes, Amber. So many changes. When I first came, there was barely any furniture because you were starting off.
It was COVID. We had COVID.
And there was I don't know, we started off because I was your first, you didn't know what was going to happen. And we've had so many people that have left. We've had so many rule changes. We have so many things that we learned along the way. I basically was the guinea pig for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, so Brisa and I always say that we learned basically everything together, because I obviously have never ran my own business before, so there was a lot of learning and a lot of tweaking along the way. And unfortunately, or fortunately, because Brisa learned a lot, but she also got put in a lot of uncertainty, and she probably she would show up one day and probably had no idea what was going to happen that day. So
yeah, because I started off with front desk. That's you brought me on, front desk, and kind of apprenticing and looking at you. And we had two people, and then all of a sudden it was I had to do front desk. I was like, oh crap!
And then
how am I going to do this?
Her schedule changed a few times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, and then Tanya showed up late to her interview. I'm going to say that
Classic.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's classic, though. That describes me, I guess.
And then, it's I guess I, too, want to touch base on is, Sasha, I probably would get a lot of, I don't know, people, they always say, don't hire somebody's, friend. Don't hire that person's best friend. So there was definitely that in the beginning, but, I don't know. I'm a person that takes chances, and here we are. So, and it turned out wonderful. So thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Sasha.
I knew you guys would love each other.
Yeah, we're both Sagittarius, so.
Yes.
But yeah, so starting off, Brisa, I wanted to ask, so thinking about, because now you're almost 3 years in, right?
Yeah.
So thinking about where you started and where you're at now, how, I don't know, what's one of the big things that you could recommend a new artist, or what's something that scared the shit out of you in the beginning that doesn't scare you now? Tell us a little bit about something like that, a situation.
Well, what I could recommend is doing your research and actually finding a good mentor, and actually want to do this, have a passion for this, because if you don't have a passion for this, you're not going to last at all. Because this is something that you're gonna cry, you're gonna get angry, you're not gonna be happy sometimes, and there are some times that you do work and you're I'm not really happy with it, but that's how you learn, by doing work consistently.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to work hard for this.
Work hard.
Yeah.
And then how about you, Tanya? What's something then that you wish you knew now, or that you would have knew then? A situation.
I guess you say this all the time, but give yourself credit, because I guess going into this, I told you there was a lot of things I wasn't going to do. Or I was doesn't interest me. And then the more we've come along, I'm like you said, it's really just about knowing the basics. And then you do feel comfortable, doing more things. So going into it, I was it's not going to be a while till I do this. Or it's not going to be a while till I do that. And I actually have, and now I've tried all of it, and I just feel more comfortable in giving yourself more credit, because at the end of the day, like, it is very hard. Like, what we're doing is hard, but if you mentally can't, because everyone else can be hyping you up, but if you don't do that yourself, you're not going to make it. So hype yourself up and just give yourself more credit, because the more, as cliche as it sounds, if you believe in yourself and you think you could do it, you're going to do it.
I agree.
Yeah, that's good.
And then Sasha, how long have you been with us now? So Tanya, you've been with us 2 years?
2 years now this month,
And
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a year and a half now.
a year and a half.
Yeah.
So how about you? Anything that or let's ask Sasha a different question. How about is there anything that you wish maybe we would have implemented earlier on versus something that came on a little bit later that would have made your life a little bit easier? Because you guys remember, she's the front desk, studio coordinator, Kajabi expert. So she's helped me launch all of my online courses, design everything. Tanya and Sasha both helped me design on social media. Brisa helps create videos. So we're definitely a team effort. But in that sense, is there anything that?
I don't know. I feel like you've done a really good job, and with having everything set up as we needed to, and also making the necessary changes we need as we learn as we're going. So it may be little things that I may have needed in the beginning, but it honestly wasn't anything that we didn't figure out, and now that we have. So, yeah.
I'll fluff my own feathers for a second. Not really. I just kind of want to say, I feel that this might connect with quite a few people out there, in a sense that it's how hard am I on my? How many times have you guys seen me cry? Every other fucking day, probably. It's hard. So I feel being a new business owner, it's looking back. It's give yourself. I'm about to get teary eyed, but give yourself. I don't know, be more chill, be more lax. Don't hold yourself, because every day I'm oh, I could have done that sooner. I could have done that better. I could have done poor Brisa, drug her along for this ride. And it's you don't know what you don't know. And unfortunately, there is a growing process. And I think that's something that's not talked about in the industry. And when you go to start your own business, all of that stuff, they're oh, you rainbows and butterflies. But the daily grind behind it is super tough. So
yeah, giving yourself grace.
And we were just talking about this morning, actually, bringing, we're looking potentially for a front desk person, but we're God, but they really have to love it. Because it's you guys wouldn't have been here. I say, I don't know how I got lucky, because I'm you guys wouldn't be here. If you don't love it, because it's so fucking hard, right?
Yeah.
And Tanya, she's got a second job. She's working all night long. She's coming in the studio all damn day long. Sasha, we're finally getting her pay up to what I feel is almost acceptable. Not quite, but it takes time, and you need somebody that's going to be patient with you in order to grow along the way with you, and somebody that's going to believe in that dream as much as you do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You can't put a price on people that actually care about your business.
Yeah, if I could pay Sasha $1 million a day, I would. So
that's why I want to just do it all. I'm let's just keep our team, and we're good. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Get a solid foundation.
I think that's all of our pro and con. We all want to do so much in the studio, and then we kind of cut ourselves, because we all want to stick our hands. We all want to help, and then we're oh my gosh, we're everywhere, and we're not getting one thing done, because we're all trying to help.
Yeah.
But that's just because we all care.
Yeah.
We all want to stick our hands in.
I feel it would be boring if we didn't have fun, all of these adventures.
I know.
It would be so boring.
Every other day, would you be able to work anywhere else where you're today we're doing a podcast, tomorrow we're going to a convention, we're going to...
we do a good mix of that, because so many people, clients and other artists that come into our studio, you guys are so fun, or they come in here and you're oh my gosh, you guys actually like each other. It's not just what's portrayed online. I think we do a good job of job and then fun personality stuff.
I don't understand how people work in a place where they hate each other.
Yeah.
It's you can feel it.
Is heavy and
you can feel it.
Yeah, none of that shit allowed.
You can see it in their work too.
Rule number 1: if you come to the studio, it's and now, even though I didn't follow that rule last week, I had a bad day. The next day, I was Sasha, sorry about yesterday. And she's and I was so rule number 1 is just announce it when you come in the studio, right? Just say hey, I'm having a shit day, or hey, this, that, and the other. Because I think people will be more understanding, especially when you're working with multiple women. We go through lots of things, so we have personal life, and then we're trying to juggle as well as the studio life and everything else.
So what are some things you were not prepared for?
Me?
So things that no one told you when starting a business. What are some things that are oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this?
The most important thing probably would be have money to have a lawyer, because you're going to come across, I know that sounds like super heavy and like negative, but you're going to have situations that you're going to get into where you need them in your back pocket. So if you don't have money to have a lawyer on retainer, don't even think about it. 2 is like it's not even that it switches every day. It's almost like it switches 10 times throughout the day, meaning like you have your highs, you have extremely lows, you have highs, extremely lows. You might have 10 of those in one day versus, and then we might have a whole week where we're like smooth sailing. So it's like whiplash constantly. Like, well, I think it was Saturday that our payment system decided to stop working. So it's like Saturday, 5 p.m. The last thing you want to fucking do is stay and fix payment system. But guess what you have to do being a business owner? It's all those little things that add up that nobody talks about. So that's it for episode 1. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to tune in for our second episode where we're going to be talking just about that as what we are basically what people don't tell you when starting a business.